Hey guys, welcome back to the E&S Hoover Show. Thank you for tuning in. I am going to talk about something I just recently did, which was qualify some tenants for one of my rentals. I just finished the place from construction and I had an open house showing over the weekend. Had a ton of people come in and had a bunch of applications to process, so I thought this could be a good learning experience to talk about processing applications for your tenants, okay? Even if you're thinking about investing in real estate but you don't have any yet, this is a great video for you. You can learn a lot from this. And if you are thinking about investing in real estate, or you're currently thinking about investing into real estate, you should check out the video I just recently did, which is how to invest in real estate with little or no money. I'll put a little card to it right now you can click on. And if you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe to the channel or the podcast. It's super important that I put out good content for you, and the only way I'll know that I am is if you're liking, you're subscribing, and you're commenting and letting me know how we're doing. And also follow me on social media too, at E&S Hoover. I love to connect and build relationships with like-minded individuals. Okay, let's get into it. The most important thing, we're going to start number one. Most important thing is running a credit check, running a background check. This is your health status for your potential tenant, okay? If you pull their credit and their credit is a 450 credit score and they're not paying their current bills, guess what? They're not going to pay you either. It's pretty simple. If they're not paying their bills, they're not going to pay you, okay? So now if their credit score is kind of low, but they have 2 years of good payment history and they can explain why their credit wasn't good beforehand, then that's something that maybe you can work on with protecting yourself and still renting to those folks, and we'll talk about that later in the video. If they're a criminal, no, don't rent to criminals. Now, if they had a criminal activity when they were 18 and they're 35 now, and it's explainable and they've changed their life, maybe that's something that you still protect yourself but can think about renting to somebody, right? I definitely would not rent to anybody on, the Megan's Law or anything like that. If they're a sex offender, that's going to hurt just the value of your property. That the neighbors aren't going to like it. Nobody's going to like it. So just stay away from it. It doesn't matter how long ago they did something really, really bad, and therefore it's only going to affect you in a negative way. Even if they've grown and they've changed, that's awesome, but it's just something you can't do. So don't rent to criminals, and run a credit check, because it's super important that you make sure that they are currently paying their bills. That's step number one. Have a basic criteria, okay? So I am a people person and I fall in love with people. So I meet somebody and they're super nice and friendly and they love the place and we chat it up and we have a good time. I automatically just want to rent to that person now, right? So you need to have a basic criteria that's going to make it so that you can turn somebody down and just make an educated business decision. Okay, I'm only going to rent to people fully approved in this, criteria. My criteria is 3 times the rent amount in income, right? So they need to make, if it's $1,000 a month, they need to make $3,000 gross. And honestly, if you think about it, that's still pretty tight, but that's the bare minimum, okay? And then from there, I want them to have at least a 600 credit score, but it's not really even about the credit score as it is about what I see on the credit. Are they currently paying their bills? How long have they been currently paying their bills for without being late on any payments? That's the most important thing over credit score. So actually look at the details, not just the credit score, because I know some people that have a 650 credit score, but they're paying their car payments and their mortgages late and stuff like that. So really dig in deep and figure out what is the story behind the credit, okay, before you just deny somebody because of credit or approve somebody because of credit. Really dig deep and look into that. So you have the 3 times rent amount gross, you have the credit, you want to make sure that they have a basic credit, and no criminal. Those are pretty basic criteria for an application, right? Just if they don't meet that, there's other ways to approve them, but you really just want to make sure you're making a sound business decision. How we can approve them still is, let's just say that, for instance, that they maybe haven't been at their job very long and they're right at the 3 times rent amount gross. You can get an extra security deposit, a double security deposit. You can get first and last month's rent and an extra security deposit. And if they balk at that and they say, oh, I'm not paying $4,000 to move into a place, well, then that's probably not the tenant that you want. Or, oh, I don't have that yet, but I can get it by, the end of the month. Probably not the tenant that you want. You want people that have a little bit of savings set aside and have planned to make a move. So just take that into consideration. Definitely protect yourself with either double deposits, co-signers, first and last month's rent, or all of them together. If you have somebody you really want to rent to and they need another chance, well, guess what? I will rent to you because you have a decent job, you're making good money, and your credit's rebuilding, but I'm going to need a co-signer and a double deposit to move forward. And if they can't work with that, then I'm sorry, I can't work with you. I wish you the best of luck, and you move on. Call their previous landlord, not their current landlord, their previous landlord. Why? The current landlord is going to want to get rid of those people at any cost if they're a bad tenant. So you call them, hey, Mr. Landlord, I'm thinking about renting to your tenant. They say they need to move because they need more space. That landlord's going to go, oh yeah, I understand. My place is kind of small. They were a great tenant. Sad to see them go. Wish you the best. And they're going to hang up. And then you call the past tenant or the past landlord before that, and he's going to say, oh man, do not rent to these people. They were a nightmare. The cops were getting called all the time. They never paid their rent. I had to do cash for keys, so it didn't show up on the eviction because they did cash for keys. That's another term that we use in the landlording space, where you basically pay a tenant to go away. Hey, here's $1,000. If you can be out by Friday and leave the place in decent condition, we'll do this. That can be a way to save you a ton of money over the eviction process. So call that previous landlord, not the current landlord. You can call the current landlord, but more than likely that current landlord's going to lie to you, okay? Call the previous landlord. Those are the ones you're going to get the real story from. Do a vehicle check. So what I do when I have open house showings, because it's just the best way to make sure that my time is utilized effectively. So I have people come and they all pull in at the same time. Usually I have a half-hour window or something. They can come take a look at the property, and I let everybody tour through it, and then I'm walking around the property, pretend like I'm staying busy, checking the landscaping, whatever else. But while I'm doing that, I'm looking at the vehicles of these people that pulled into my driveway. I'm looking at the tires. Do they have enough tread to pass inspection? I'm looking at, how well kept the vehicle is, because guess what? If they keep very good care of their vehicles, more than likely they're going to take very good care of everything, right? They're going to take care of your property. If they trash their vehicles, they're probably going to trash your property, or at least there's a good chance that they might end up trashing your property. So take that into consideration. Look at the vehicles. How well is it kept? How old is it? Is it a ticking time bomb? Is it something that they have put together with Bondo and everything else holding it together? Those are things that you want to pay attention to, because that could give you a little insight behind the curtains to see what kind of a tenant that you're getting into. And if their vehicle is old and busted up, guess what? Their debt to income ratio is about to go negative, because they're going to have to get a car payment at some point. So just take that stuff into consideration and think about what type of vehicle that they're driving and how well that vehicle is kept, and that could help you maybe determine if they're a good potential tenant or not. Verify their income, super important. Get W-2s, get tax returns, get anything you can to verify their income. Okay, if they're a small business owner, you can get schedules from their tax returns. You can get their current P&Ls from QuickBooks, stuff like that. So just take that extra time to verify income and make sure they're actively employed. Maybe even call their employer and do a verification check. Hey, is Sally Smith still working for you? Yes? Okay, great. At least you know that they're still employed and that they have income coming in, because the worst thing to do is to rent to somebody without income. Again, if they are light on the income, you can use co-signers, double deposits, stuff like that to protect yourself. Look them up on social media. Guys, we have the internet at our fingertips. You are watching or listening to this video via the power of the internet, okay? So use that internet to help your business. And how you can do that is find them on social media. Trust me, they are on social media. Go find their Facebook page, their Twitter page, their Instagram, see what they're posting about. If they're posting nice pictures of their family and everything looks good, that could tell you that, hey, there's a good chance this is a good person, right? Now, if they're posting stuff about guns and illegal drug activity and negative stuff about their current landlord and all that stuff, red flags, right? So use that power of the internet to get a little bit of a background story on your folks. See if they're posting good content on social media, or if they're maybe going to do some things that you don't want them to do. Like, even if they have a decent page, but then they're trashing their landlord anytime something goes wrong, that could potentially be not a good situation for you. So you have to really dig deep and make sure that you're renting to the right types of people. Most importantly, when in doubt, be patient. The number one thing I can tell you is if there's just an application that's sitting there and you're desperate to get a place rented, and you're just like, I can make it work. Don't make it work, okay? I'm telling you right now, I've seen so many times that somebody tried to make it work and it ended up costing them a fortune between not getting rent paid and attorney's fees and evictions, and then their property gets trashed and it costs them thousands upon thousands of dollars. Take another week, find the right tenant. Be patient. Don't rent to somebody because you're desperate. If you're desperate, go Uber for a couple nights to pay that mortgage payment for a month. Anything you have to do to not put yourself into a negative situation. Super important. Be patient, wait for the next showing, and find the right tenant. Do not rent to somebody who does not meet, at the very least, a basic qualification and doesn't have the ability to pay rent, okay? That's just a horrible situation. Be patient, find the right tenant. I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe and shoot me a comment. Hit me up on social media at Ian S. Hoover on just about everything out there. You can also email me, ian@ianhoover.com, if you ever just have any random questions that you want answered. I'm always happy to collaborate and help out as much as I can. And until next time, this is Ian Hoover signing off.